Welcome to BNews Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNews Director Rich Hosford, BNews reporters Tad Stefanak and Robert Paris, Peter Brown with the weather, Ian Casciola with Community Bulletin Board, Matt DiMarzio with sports, and Marge McDonald with the senior news. Have a full house for you tonight. Burlington High's varsity football team and the Burlington community were surprised with the news this week that longtime coach Sean Maguire had been placed on administrative paid leave. BNews Director Rich Hosford has more on the story.
The Burlington High School varsity football team will be going into Friday night's game against Stoneham without the man who has led the team for over 2 decades. On Wednesday, the school department announced that coach Sean Maguire had been placed on paid administrative leave pending an administrative investigation into allegations of inappropriate behavior. Part of the release states that school administration received allegations this week of verbal misconduct towards players by the coach. A meeting was held with Maguire to inform him of the allegations and that he would be placed on paid leave while the Burlington Public Schools investigated the claims. Since then, the department has had little to say. In the initial statement, they asserted that because the investigation is ongoing and involves personnel matters, the department is unable to comment further at this time. Maguire's attorney, Dale Merrill, said she spoke with him Wednesday morning and that the coach said he couldn't think of anything he had done wrong. She said they are confident this will turn out to be a false allegation and that once the school department takes a look at it, they'll find he didn't do anything inappropriate. Some members of the Burlington community have voiced their thoughts on the matter on social media. Many of the comments suggest that rough language is part of the football culture and that disciplining a coach for verbal abuse is endemic of the current culture and shows we coddle children too much. When asked about the situation, interim coach George Balian said he had no comment about the allegations, but did say the team was practicing as normal and all their focus was on Friday night's game against Stoneham. At Burlington High School, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
Burlington residents and businesses are now under a complete outdoor water usage ban. The measure was approved by the Burlington Board of Selectmen during a meeting on Wednesday night. The vote was made after Department of Public Works Director John Sanchez informed the board the reservoir level was only 5 feet from the intake. He said that the level gives the town only 21 days if something were to go wrong or if the drought worsened. The town-wide ban is on all non-essential outdoor water use and shall remain in place for the duration of this emergency. The term non-essential outside water use is defined to include those uses that do not have health or safety impacts, are not required by regulation, and are not needed to meet core functions of a business or other organization. No outdoor water use will be allowed at any time, any day. This includes lawn irrigation, watering gardens or flowers, car washing, or using water to clean buildings, driveways, or sidewalks. The only allowed uses are those necessary for core business function or by those with private wells. Any person violating shall be issued a warning for the first violation and shall be liable to the town in the amount of $50 for the second violation and $100 for each subsequent violation thereafter. The board also voted to request that the state declare a water emergency in Burlington. This is a required step to being allowed to purchase water from neighboring communities. Sanchez said the town is just about ready to start receiving water from a neighbor, and when that happens, it will supply about 25% of Burlington's supply. When asked what the cost, if it lasted about a month, it would be about $70,000, but he doesn't believe Burlington would need to purchase water for that long. Burlington also gains water from the well field, about 40% of its supply. After a lengthy discussion on Wednesday night, town meeting members voted 54-41 to approve a warrant article that gives the town permission to petition the state legislature for 6 additional all-alcohol licenses and beer and wine licenses that will be designated to the town center overlay district. The article was submitted by the Board of Selectmen, and Selectman Chris Hartling and Town Administrator John Petrin spoke in favor of it. Hartling said the purpose of the licenses was to attract smaller, locally owned restaurants, and that will help to begin a revitalization of the town center district. He said the idea behind having these establishments is to create an area that is a desirable destination. There were a number of questions raised and concerns voiced. One big one was how this would impact traffic in the area, which is already quite busy, especially at peak times. Hartling said the restaurants would be spread out through the district and also that they would be smaller than many of the restaurants in town. That led some members to ask by what mechanism the town, and specifically the Board of Selectmen, would use to ensure that the restaurants were the desirable size. Hartling said that because it will likely take a year or more for the licenses to be approved by the state, there is time to work out those details. There were some doubts about the answer, but Town Council Representative John Giorgio of Copeland and Page explained that when it comes to setting parameters for who can receive a liquor license, the board has a lot of discretion as long as they are consistent. It was also pointed out that unlike licenses the town has by right that have become commodities that restaurant owners have sold to one another, these licenses go back to the town if a business closes. That gives the town much more control over the types of restaurants that can use them. Excuse me. A discussion started in the spring on the possibility of having later start times for Burlington High School is continuing this fall. Superintendent Eric Conti said at this week's school committee meeting that the Middlesex League superintendents have gotten together to discuss the topic and that he would leave the topic on all committee meeting agendas for future discussion. He said changing the school start time would be a local decision, but it made sense to coordinate with area schools for both information sharing and to work out things like sports scheduling. The reason the league is considering the change is because of a lot of data show that traditional school starting times for high schools have adverse health effects on teenagers. They also add to stress levels of students. If you're driving your son or daughter to school, you'll likely notice something right above your head. New banners featuring the school's mission statements and core values are in the process of being hung along the main entrance of the high school campus. BHS Principal Mark Sullivan and graphics design teacher George Ratkovich came up with the idea and have wanted to implement it for a long time. The money for the banners were donated by the Nordblum Company's Third Avenue project. Ratkovich's sophomore and junior design classes were involved in the project as well as by helping him come up with designs for the banners. Sullivan had basic ideas of what the banners should look like and wanted to have the school core values and mission statements on them. Ratkovich presented first drafts to Sullivan last year, but they weren't quite what he was looking for. During the course of the summer, Ratkovich began working to revise the banners. Fox Hill art teacher Lauren Vino joined the project and began working on the banners for the other half of the summer. Her responsibility was to provide Sullivan with redesigned drafts of the banners and present a final version. Sullivan approved the final versions, and many of the banners can now be seen when you enter the high school lot and circle near the main entrance. The rest will be up soon. The Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce held an event to mark the 10th anniversary of the business and to recognize Brendan Stapleton for all his charitable works and giving into the community. BNEWS reporter Robert Parrish was there and has this report.
Many people think about volunteering their time, effort, and money to give back to the community, but not everyone does. One local business owner, Brendan Stapleton of Fitness Together, has stepped up to the plate many times in his 10 years in business. This past Thursday, the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce held a special event for Brendan in recognition for all that he has done for the community.
Well, it's a celebration not only of Brendan, but of success of a small business owner. What really sets Brendan aside, other than his success with his clients, is his ability to connect to the community and support a lot of charitable organizations that are here. He does a lot of it quietly, and while that's great for him, we also want to let people know, especially those in the community that might not know Brendan, some of the things that he's doing behind the scene.
Brendan has helped a wide variety of charities throughout the town and the surrounding areas.
It's very hard to find a charity that he hasn't been involved in. He supports people helping people. He's very involved with the charitable foundation of the chamber, supporting scholarships for our graduating seniors. He's involved with the Neshoba Learning Group, not only through supporting their programs in contributions, but also hiring some of their students to work here in his facility. He supports Eagle Scouts. He did trees up at the Common. He supports numerous families at the holidays, in adopting families and providing gifts for them and their family. And all of this he does very quietly behind the scenes. And it's one of those things that we really want to get the message out that's exemplary in the business community. There's a lot of people giving back. For a small business, he makes it a priority.
Brendan did not only want to start helping people in the community, but help people achieve their athletic goals.
I wanted to get involved in health and wellness to be able to help other people achieve their goals, stay healthy, and prolong the quality of their life.
There are a lot of things Brendan likes about being a fitness trainer.
Working with people, getting to know folks, and really just, being in the community and helping people achieve, what they're looking to do.
Brian Alberti has been a client at Fitness Together for over 2 years. He considers Brendan as a friend and spoke about his approach to teaching fitness.
I think Brendan really is a people person. He knows everyone in the town. He's really works with his clients holistically, so he's not just working on training people's bodies, but their minds, working on their diet and helping them succeed in life. So it's not just about working out at a gym. It's about succeeding in life and building the business community in Burlington.
From the Fitness Together in Burlington, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
2 members of the Burlington Police Department recently completed training aimed at helping the department better receive and share information to combat crime and terrorism. Chief Michael Kent said in a release that Lieutenant Glenn Mills and Detective James Tiggis completed the Criminal Intelligence Liaison Officer Training Program provided by the Commonwealth Fusion Center in Maynard. As Criminal Intelligence Liaison Officers, Lieutenant Mills and Detective Tiggis will now act as conduits between the department and the Fusion Center to facilitate and exchange intelligence and information between Burlington, state, and federal law enforcement and intelligence agencies, the release states. The training focused on services available to law enforcement from the Department of Homeland Security, responding to the threat of homegrown terrorism and lone wolf attacks, suspicious activity reporting, intelligence-based databases, and the Terrorist Screening Center. Chief Kent said this training provided valuable insight and information on how Burlington Police can best work with the Fusion Center to exchange information with their law enforcement partners on a variety of critical topics. BCAT's After School Club for High Schoolers, BHS-TV, recently went on a particularly scary location shoot in preparation for the Halloween season. Can you believe it? Halloween already. They literally paid a visit to a local haunt. BHS coordinator and BNews reporter Tad Stefanak has more.
The Halloween season is upon us, and with it comes the usual accompaniments of frights, pumpkin-flavored edibles, and TV specials. BHS-TV, BCAT's after-school video club, has been preparing their Halloween TV special. Part of the endeavor will include a look at the Scream Park, Witches Woods in Westford.
BHS-TV got a great opportunity to go to Witches Woods and kind of film a little bit of a behind-the-scenes thing about like how they do the makeup of all the people there. It's actually kind of funny how almost humorous it is during the daytime. It's what some of the models look like, but it was definitely made up to be awesome.
BHS-TV members were shown ways to create makeup effects using household products, as well as getting their own professional gory makeovers.
Well, it was definitely exciting. You could tell it's like a form of artistry to them. They take their time, they put in a lot of detail, and at the same time they have to go through stuff pretty fast, and it must get pretty chaotic in there. But it was pretty cool. I was definitely impressed that they could pull that off as fast as they did, as good as they did.
I asked Cameron if his mother saw him when he got home.
Yes, she did not expect it.
You can look for the BHS-TV Halloween special this October on BCAT's educational channel and online at BCAT's YouTube channel, with more from Witches Woods and a host of haunting Halloween hilarity. From Witches Woods at the Noshiba Valley Ski Area in Westford, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak. Back to you in the studio.
This weekend marks the opening weekend for Witches Woods in Westford. Open Thursday through Sunday until Halloween. All the students from BHS-TV will be going and encourage those who get a delight out of fright to head over to the Witches Wood Halloween attraction at Neshoba Valley Ski Area. We go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Ian Casciola to see what's happening in Burlington.
This is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the upcoming period. And to start out our period going into Friday, look at this. We're going to see temperatures, can you believe this? Well below normal for a change. That's something we haven't seen much of during September, that's for certain. Look at this. Ending out the month, you'll see temperatures only in the upper 50s on Friday. So definitely we're going to continue that cool feeling that we've had these past few days. Well below our average of 67, that's for sure. And look at this as we get to the end of next period. October 6th, can you believe it? Looking into October now. As you can see, our temperatures continue to decrease, as they will until we get all the way to the middle of January, but we will leave January out of it for now, that's for certain. As you can notice now, the nights are actually longer than the days, so that's certainly a sign that fall is progressing and we're getting on towards winter in a couple of months. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with our weather for the upcoming period. And I want to draw your attention down to this little icon that you see down here in the corner over the Atlantic. Many of you might be saying, is that a hurricane or a tropical storm? And actually, yes, it is. We actually have Matthew, which has formed down in the Caribbean. It actually strengthened in the last couple of hours to hurricane strength. Now, this high that's going to be up over southeastern Canada, this is going to be the real crucial part in our forecast coming up towards the end of the period. Depending on how strong this high is will determine whether Matthew goes out to sea below us or comes a bit closer to us and brings us actually quite a bit of rain and a lot of wind with it. So right now we like to depend a lot on the European model because it does a great job with tropical systems. And right now it looks like Matthew's going to be staying much closer to the coast. So again, this might be something we really have to pay attention to as we get towards the end of the period. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about the models that I've been using to look at this. This first model, this is basically a description of the models. This is between the GFS, which is the American model, which is this red line, the Canadian model, which is the purple one, and the Navy, which is a green one. As you can see right on here, the GFS has this storm actually coming fairly close to us, maybe a couple of 100 miles off of Nantucket. But as we go back to the next map, I'm going to show you this one. This is going to really open your eyes a bit. All of this kind of what you can see mess that you see here, these are called ensemble members, and these are basically members of the GFS, the U.S. forecasting model. And they take different solutions and they show different possible tracks for where Matthew could go. As you can see, quite a few of them bring Matthew very close, if not into New England. So again, towards the end of the period, Matthew might be something we really have to keep our eyes on with a chance for very heavy rain and some high winds. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about our 7-day forecast. And look at this. This isn't something we've seen in months. Almost rain. Chance of rain almost every day during the period. I want to let you know, Saturday and Sunday, unfortunately for the weekend, looks like it's going to be our steadiest chance of rain. But don't pay too much attention to all of the rain. It's not going to be raining all of the time. More of a hit and miss kind of thing with showers. The temperature's going to stay fairly constant from the upper 50s to the mid 60s. And again, getting towards Thursday, taking a look at Hurricane Matthew and seeing how close it might get to us. That might bring us some trouble for the end of the period. But again, temperatures basically mid to upper 60s, so about average. So I hope you get out there and please get out there and be thankful for this rain that we've finally gotten.
Hello and welcome to your community calendar. Parents, do your kids read Percy Jackson? On Tuesday, October 4th from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library is having an event called Magnus Chase Party. If your children are a fan of Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson series, they can look forward to a new Magnus adventure, The Hammer of Thor. There will also be fun Viking activities, and you could win the new book by entering the raffle drawing. The event is for kids in grades 3 through 8. Everyone is welcomed. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Can't decide who to vote for state representative? On Wednesday, October 5th from 6 to 8:30 p.m., the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce will be holding a candidates forum with the 21st Middlesex District State Representative candidates. The event will be held at the Massachusetts Hospital Association Conference Center, 500 District Avenue in the district. The candidates for the evening will be the 21st Middlesex District State Representative Ken Gordon and challenger Paul Gerard. The moderator for the evening will be Kelly Pappas, the Vice Chair of the BACC Government Affairs Committee. The event is free of charge and open to all Burlington residents. Questions for the candidates can be submitted prior to the event to office@baccma.org or mailed to the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce, 265 Wynn Street, Suite 302, Burlington, MA 01803. Looking for a fun way to entertain your kids for the fall? On Saturday, October 15th from 9:30 to 1:30 p.m., The Burlington Recreation Department is having a trip to the Middlesex Fells Reservation for outdoor rock climbing. Children will be encouraged to confront your limitations and attain your goals, all within the framework of self-discovery and fun. The event is for children with disabilities ages 8 and up. The cost is $55. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1695. This has been your Community Calendar. I'm Ian Casciola. Back to you in the studio.
The high school teams are working hard at practice and on the field. We go now to BNews sports reporter Matt DiMarzio for this week's sports report.
Hi everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here for BNews Sports, and here's your report for the week. The Burlington Red Devils football team is coming off a 30-18 loss to Melrose. We taped the game and have these highlights. Let's check them out.
During the third game of the 2016 season, the Burlington Red Devils faced off against the Melrose Red Raiders. Burlington started off strong with a handoff to Zachary Sear early in the first quarter that led to an approximately 25-yard run for a touchdown, putting the Red Devils up 6-0. Melrose responded with running back Mike Pedrini powering his way into the end zone. Burlington scored first in the second quarter with a great run of over 40 yards by running back Zachary Sear. But Melrose would soon tie it up again with quarterback Jack Mays, making it into the end zone. The Red Raiders capitalized on that with a 2-point conversion pass to Pedrini. Burlington would take the lead again with a great pass from quarterback Dylan Bonfilio to Fernando Lamine, who juggled the ball before securing it and running it in for a touchdown. That would be the end of scoring for the Red Devils. Melrose, however, came on strong in the second half of the game. The ever-resourceful Pedrini returned a kickoff and ran through the whole Red Devils special teams to find the end zone. They followed that touchdown up with another successful 2-point conversion, again with a tough toss to Pedrini. Melrose would go on to score again, followed by another successful conversion, leaving a final score of 30-18.
The teams need a win against the Spartans on Friday to stay in the hunt for the Middlesex League's Freedom Division crown. The boys soccer team is playing well, coming off a 7-1 win over Stoneham and a 0-0 tie with Wakefield. The boys cross-country team is also bouncing back. After falling to Lexington, Matt Carr's Red Devils beat Watertown on Tuesday to stay in the hunt for the league title. The volleyball team has another story at BHS. The Red Devils are 6-2 after their first 8 matches and are looking like strong contenders. Don't forget, the Burlington High Athletic Hall of Fame ceremony is on October 13th at Cafe Escadrille in Burlington. That's BNews Sports. I'm Matt DiMarzio, and back to you guys in the studio.
One place where there is always a lot happening is the Senior Center. Council on Aging Director Marge McDonald has the latest senior news. Let's have a look.
Hi. I was at a meeting a couple weeks ago, and one of my fellow Senior Center directors said, "You skate through the summer and think you can handle this, and you forget how busy September gets." It's true, and when it comes, it's like a brick to the head. All the meetings that various committees put off during summer happen in September. We pick up the schedule and have more events at the Senior Center. It's fun, but it's also a reminder that winter is around the corner, and with it, the flu season. Leahy has scheduled their flu clinics for October. You can call the Leahy hotline at 781-744-1070 for dates and times. We have a fantastic event to kick off October on Tuesday, October 14th at 9 o'clock. Irvy has been hard at work getting speakers for Senior Protection Forum, where you can learn to protect yourself and your friends and loved ones. There will be presentations by DA Marion Ryan, Police Chief Michael Kent, Greater Legal Services Senior Attorney Betsy Crimmins, Renee Prestia of Minuteman Senior Services, and Brookline Bank. We will also have a delicious continental breakfast sponsored by Leahy Hospital and Medical Center residents. Wednesday the 5th will be a busy day with the New Orleans Jazz Band at noon, and Billerica Crossings is sponsoring an ice cream social at 2 p.m. on the 5th. The Walk to End Alzheimer's was last Sunday, and it was a beautiful day with a beautiful walk under the Zachem Bridge and past the Charlestown Navy Yard. The association is still tallying the total raised from the walk, but in the end, whatever the amount, they will use the money toward research and trainings and help for caregivers, including their 24-hour hotline. You can reach the hotline at 1-800-272-3900. On Thursday, October 6th, we are having a bake sale with proceeds going to the Alzheimer's Association through our walk team from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For those caring for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, there will be a caregiver workshop on Tuesday the 11th at 10 a.m. We will be hosting a workshop titled Glass Half Full, presented by Hearthstone. This is really a continuation of the caregiver program we held in August with Hearthstone. We will be closed on Monday the 10th in order to observe Columbus Day. That's the first 2 weeks of October, and I'm Marge McDonald, and I hope to see you at the Senior Center.
That's it from the news desk here at BNews Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with Rich Hosford, Ted Stefanak, Robert Paris, Matt DiMarzio, Peter Brown, Marge McDonald, and Ian Casciola. Thank you for joining us.